All right. Welcome back, everyone. This is part 2 of high frequency nutrition, the Empowered Empaths Diet. This is to help people keep their energy high, experience the greatest amount of self love, self respect, and self care you can by eating as healthy as you can, high energy foods, which starts out with being organic. Oftentimes they're high alkaline, they're wild caught, grass fed, organically raised, and they're grain free. Okay, because grain is such a toxic ingredient product in the United States. If you're in other countries where the pesticides, the fertilizers, and the antibiotics are not introduced into the grains, then they might be a little bit better, some of those old ancient grains. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think America is doing anyone any favors. And sometimes I believe the conspiracies about they want to kill you. They want you dead because you threaten them if your intelligence, and them I mean the people who are running the industrialized greed food industry, medical industry in the United States. And if they can get you to eat wrong to begin with, one, they're going to make a lot of money and everything by selling you the pesticides, the prepackaged things, the processed foods. And then they're going to get your money again when you end up getting sick from what you ate. So let's just not get on that Ferris wheel or that rabbit wheel or, the thing that just never goes anywhere for you. Just jump off, grow your own garden, grow your own produce, and do it organic. And try to follow this book. And I think it is a way out for Americans. It's also a wonderful spiritual and emotional path because you're doing something for yourself that no one else is going to do for you. I guarantee you, people are not going to eat as well on a commercial level or going to a restaurant as what I'm giving you here in this book. So, with that being said, today's discussion is about protein selections. So, number one, always read the labels and always know what is in the can, the box, the bag, and at the produce or meat counters that you're looking at. You need to omit any unwanted ingredients like milk, corns, glutens, preservatives, dyes. Until I realized that dextrose was a hidden name for corn, and high fructose corn syrup is the number one ingredient in food that, one, leads to addiction, diabetes, cancers. Google it. Cancer studies on sugar. It's just insane what they're doing. Look for organic, non-GMO, genetically modified organisms, food sources. And remember that consuming raw meat or fish can be very hazardous to your health. And I would also add to this that in the elderly, as we lose our enzymes and our ability to digest food, it is best that your eggs of any kind, obviously grass-fed or wild raised, not in a hen house, those types of eggs are the better ones to consume, but well cooked, because we lose the ability to process the raw foods the older we get. And so with that being said, you may end up slightly steaming vegetables, slightly overcooking sometimes eggs, just so that your stomach your stomach probiotic environment in your digestive tract stays in balance. Okay, so eggs, hard-boiled, fried, poached, scrambled, baked, and even canned. Okay, I know a lot of people who are pickling their eggs now because the Bragg's apple cider vinegar will help you to pickle almost anything better than you've ever had it before. And number two, it is a non-grain vinegar. I also have done things in a wine vinegar that's very nice, made from grapes, and that's lovely. So beef that is grilled, fried, broiled, slow cooked, frozen, stewed, sautéed, and canned. And my beef choice is always grass-fed and free range. So I do not want grains in my cow or my chicken. I just don't. I don't think that's, your body. If you're a grain-free person, you're a celiac person, then you are not capable of miraculously overcoming those digestive challenges to something that is absolutely proven to be poisonous to you. So with that being said, moving on, chicken, again, free range, not caged, not fed protein, grains, and corn all day long. Baked, roasted, fried, slow cooked, canned, frozen, grilled, and sautéed. Again, free range, organic. You can do it, folks. You can do it. Lamb, fried, roasted, broiled, grilled, braised, stews, frozen, and slow cooked. Slow cooked lamb is really, really good. But I like that leg of lamb too, with the mint jalapeno jelly sauce. Oh my gosh, it's so good. But again, even lamb, free range, no grain. All right. There's a lot of controversy, and people say that that's where the taste changes for them, but you do get used to it, and your body will adjust and love you a lot more back. Get off the grain. The grain is the treadmill. The grain is going nowhere with you. It's just not. Now, I'm going to go into some fish here. Fish is always wild caught, fresh. I know that there are a lot of packaged, organic, wild caught, frozen fishes out there, and I've tried a few of myself, but the fresh wild caught is just the best, in cold water. I'll be looking at tuna, salmon, halibut, shrimp, lobster. For me, did I say salmon, tuna? Those are my favorite. I have stopped eating sushi and only choose sashimi, which is just the fish itself, raw. And then I have my little cheat cups, remember? My organic Bragg's soy sauce or Bragg's sauce. I can't remember. It has all the aminos in it. It's so good. And I take that in my little cups. And that's because a lot of when you say, do you have gluten-free soy sauce? They look at you like, what kind of Martian are you talking about? They don't have a clue. So remember, we have to exist as grain-free people in an environment that people think grain is a god. So humor them. Take your own soy sauce. Take your own ketchup. Take your own mustard if you need to. Take your own barbecue sauce. Take your own butter. Take your own. Whatever your taste treat is, that, you know, your condiments is where they're going to kill you. Now, I have occasionally had green beans or something that they try to sprinkle cheese on, Parmesan cheese. Now, who the heck does that? Well, I can tell you who does that. Those restaurants need to not see a profit on their bottom line because they're trying to kill people. Anyway, so tuna, salmon, halibut, shrimp, lobster, even mackerel, wild caught, fresh. That's the best. And you can do any of those, grilled, baked, canned. You know, you can freeze the wild caught yourself, roasted, poached in a wonderful wine. Oh, lovely. And sashimi style. I have gotten away because of my traveling. I used to know the restaurants on the West Coast that were using non-glutinous rice. And as I travel and you go into the Central Americas states, they don't have a clue. So you get a variety of different rice, and they will even put the little crunchy gluten flakes in the spicy tuna roll or the spicy salmon roll. They don't know sushi, trust me on that one. So anyway, with that being said, recently I was at a restaurant that had the old Cajun spice, and it was a king crab leg and black mussels is what I chose to eat, with a Cajun mild spice. And then all I had was the little baby round potatoes. I didn't have any corn or anything else in it. And I told them to not make it with butter, but to make it with olive oil. And so they did. And I'm telling you, it was some of the best food I've had in a year. It was just divine, divine, divine. I've got a lot of Cajun, New Orleans, French background in our family. And when I tasted that, I just didn't want to stop. I loved it. I just wanted to eat all the sauce. Oh my gosh, everyone, it was fabulous. And so if you can get a Cajun treat like that and put that Cajun spice, make your own with the paprikas and the chilies and the peppers, you know, put a bunch of garlic in it. I had so much garlic that if I'd scooped up the garlic out of the bottom of the bag that they did the boil in, I would have had a whole handful of garlic in there. And that garlic stayed with me for about 3 days. It was intense, but I'm so happy I did it. It was so good. I put pictures up, and at one point I'm probably going to do a recipe with that, but it was just heavenly. So with that being said, you can also add buffalo and deer and elk meat, pheasant, some of those kinds of more rare meats that you wouldn't get unless you were hunting or you were in countries where, or states, areas where that type of meat was hunted and then resold. Or you go to a family that are hunters and you're visiting and you get treated elk roast or beef or deer steak or something, you know. And it is a treat. It is a treat. Make sure that if you are eating something that they call sausage, make sure that it is just that meat with the seasonings, that it doesn't have breading included in it. And you can always do the other types of shellfish like oysters and clams and mussels. All of those are wonderful, wonderful sources of protein for you. I do a lot of mussels. I love the black mussels. I love the little baby clams. I absolutely love the oysters up in Willapa Bay on the Long Beach Peninsula in Washington State. It's the west corner of the state. And those oysters, they're huge. You could have like 4 bites out of one. They are just so good. And when I was lucky enough to live up there, that was a weekly diet staple for me, was those oysters. And the amount of nutrition that I got from that, I just felt so good. My bones didn't hurt. Oh, it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. So with that being said, wild caught, fresh. If you can it, poach it, use wine, use Bragg's apple cider vinegar or a wine vinegar. Don't have your protein fed a grain source. So you're looking at your free range, cage free. Those are all your new words, and you will be so much happier. People say, but what about the price? And I say, aren't you worth it? Because you're not going to get sick or as sick. And you're worth it. You're worth it. So with that being said, next up is nuts, fruits, and berries. So hang in and come back for part 3.